again. Oh, I'm so excited by this. Isn't she magnificent? Good morning, Karula. How do you do? Lovely to meet you. So she has killed an impala. Looks like a yearling. Maybe a bit younger, maybe actually last year's impala, so maybe 8 or 9 months old. I suspect she killed it yesterday, quite early, and then hauled it up the tree here. I wonder when she pulled it up the tree, because we've been in and around this area, and she's in a pretty obvious location. So I suspect maybe she pulled it up when that hyena came along. And I'm not sure, you can't see the hyena now, but he's lying right at the base of the tree, waiting for scraps to drop down. And of course, if she drops that carcass now, that hyena will devour it in seconds. Just look at the way the morning light is catching her coat. Even the rather grim sound of her crunching the bones is rather inspiring. She's looking at something else coming this way. Very aware. Could be another hyena. Very aware. Now, unfortunately, I am going to have to call this in on the Game Drive channel. Much as I'd love to savour her for ourselves. Stations, female leopard, Mumba Road, about, call it 500 metres from the junction of Drakensberger, to the west of the junction of Drakensberger. Animal is static, southern side of the road, in a tree. You'll get visual from Mumba Road. Just come along, Mumba. So, everybody, you kind of develop a relationship with animals out here. And I think many of you have noticed that even though you're perhaps not out here, you've developed relationships with all the animals out here. And with leopards, I find it's quite easy to develop a sort of an attachment to various ones depending on their different characteristics. And I'm really looking forward to developing a relationship with this one. I quite like the fact that she's not very large. She's got a huge territory, though. For a female leopard, she's got a massive territory in this area. And I like the fact that she's a bit under pressure from her daughters, from the males. And yet this is the 3rd kill she's had in the last week. We know the one that Mvula stole from her. Mvula, for those of you who don't know, is the sort of dominant male of the area. He stole a kill from her the other day. Highly unchivalrous behavior. And then she disappeared way east into a reserve called Torchwood, where she was found with a duiker in a kill in a tree. And that was about 3 days ago. 4 days ago. And here she is now with another kill. So she's a highly successful animal. I would very much like to get a shot of her face, so I think at the risk of facing the sun, Viam, shall we try and go a little bit around the side there? Yep. Okay. I don't think she's very disturbed by us. She seems entirely comfortable. So we'll just drive around the side and see if I can't get a look at her face. We are in some pretty thick stuff. He's called Strychnos madagascarensis, which is not particularly interesting when there's a leopard around, but they are pretty hardy. What's this one here?
Yeah.
You got it?
I do.
Hyena's up and looking. We'll stop here for now. Is that right, Vian? And I believe one of you has said that she needs to eat quickly. Well, she maintains it up there in the tree. She won't have to eat too fast, but Susie, she's very aware that something seems to be coming from the basically to her right or in front of her. There seems to be something that keeps grabbing her attention. Oh, look at her. There she is. Hello. And a bit grim as it is, you can see there. Can you just get in on the throat there, Vian? Not of her, of the hapless antelope she's murdered. You can see there, this is a bit grim, we won't look at it for long, but you can see where she's gripped that animal around the throat, and that was probably what killed it. In fact, it's definitely what killed it. And the advantage is not so much the strangulation, because she's strong enough to snap that animal's neck. The advantage is that it then doesn't squeal. It can't make a noise and attract things like this hyena. So she's quite a pale leopard. Viam, do you think that's not an impala, is it?
Looks like a duiker.
A duiker.
Or even a yala.
You're not a bushbuck. There's some disagreement as to what her breakfast actually is. Viam reckons a duiker, which is well possible. It's too pale to be an impala, which I initially thought it was from a little bit back there. I'm going with bushbuck at the moment. But I can't tell exactly. Oh, look at that. Hi. She's got quite a pug face. So she's not the Giselle Bundchen of leopards, but she's surely one of the most successful ones the Sabi Sands has ever seen. She's just listening to some zebras' alarm calling, but not paying them too much attention. Now, you see what fascinates me about the difference between their behavior and lion behavior is that a lion will sit and eat without looking up. It'll go to sleep without looking anywhere, but a leopard is constantly aware. Leopard is constantly looking, checking what's going on, seeing what's happening. So, just while she's feeding, I think what we're going to do is try and reposition. Scott is with the lions, and they're apparently about to go to sleep, which will be so before they do that, you're going to nip across to him, and we're just going to reposition quickly, and we'll see you in a little while. Fear not, we are not going anywhere.
welcome back, and before anything else is said, a huge congratulations to James for finding that female leopard with a kill. What a bonus, and very well done to him for working that one out. As you can see, one lioness just walked past the vehicle only a meter or so away, and another 5 members of the pride are lying here. We aren't sure where the other 2 could be. There's 8 in total, and as you can see, they are now all sleepy, out of hunting mode, and probably running through in their heads how they could have performed that hunt a little bit more effectively. But it's important to know that lion will hunt, but only be successful about 20% of the time. Well, we've got a question through from Lynn. Good morning, and it's great to have you with us. Lynn's interested to know, was only one lioness rather actively hunting the buffalo as they ran off? And it did appear that way from where we were parked. It certainly did. The lioness that was closest to us was the one that Brian filmed. But the other members of the pride did also appear to be actively chasing the buffalo. None of them got very close that I could see. It was very thick bush, but it was more than just the one lioness that was chasing the buffalo. And actually it was other members of the pride that initiated the hunt, and the buffalo started running, and only then did the lioness that we were close to join in on the hunts. So they all actively did look to be involved. It must be said, though, it looked like Junior, the young male, was nowhere to be seen when everything was happening. So I think he was possibly waiting for the lioness to possibly latch onto a buffalo before he would come in and throw his weight around. Then another question is from Lisa, and Lisa's interested to know why, or is it common for lion to hunt during the day? And yes, it certainly is common for lion to hunt during the day, Lisa. They will hunt whenever an opportunity is available to them, night or day, rain or snow. Not that we get snow here, but they will hunt at any time of the day. The difference is between daytime and nighttime hunting is that they are aided when hunting at night because they have the benefits of nocturnal vision. And there's another lioness that's just popped up here. So their prey are not kitted out with good nocturnal vision, whereas they are. So they have a definite advantage when hunting at night. And even if we were to take this specific hunt, for example, into account, they would have had a far greater chance at night when the buffalo would have been a lot more confused and scared as they ran off into the darkness. So you could probably assume that lion will have a greater success at hunting at night in general over many different hunts, because they do have that cover of darkness, but it's not to say that they cannot be successful during the day. And on top of that, a lot will depend on the area where you may be on safari. Animals' behavior will change drastically from area to area, even though you may be researching or looking at the same species. So you'll probably find that there are some areas of Africa where certain prides of lion find it easier to hunt during the day. For example, at a waterhole where animals may be coming down to drink, usually they do that during the day, and therefore lion may tap into that and make the most successful hunts during the daytime hours, whereas in other areas they may find the night is the most successful time for them to hunt. So it will vary from area to area and from pride to pride. Here we've got a little bit more action. There's one lioness who looks like she's returned to the pride. As I said earlier, there was only 6 of the 8 lying here initially, and 1 or 2 are getting up and moving around. What a morning it is. lion and leopard, and we've still got a lot of the show to go. So who knows what else we may find this morning. Well, good morning, Edward, and good to have you on board with us. Edward's asked an interesting question. If other animals see that a lion is weak or injured, will it possibly try and kill the lion and take it off because it's an easy opportunity? And most certainly, that will definitely happen. Animals like hyena, who are arch rivals with lion, will see a weakened lion and certainly investigate the opportunity of trying to eliminate any competition. And buffalo are no different. If those 6 or 7 buffalo bulls that we saw came across a weak or injured lion, there's a very strong chance that they would try and kill it. So it's not only other predators that will attack weakened lions, but buffalo will certainly be another animal that will get some payback, you could say, if that was to happen. So thanks, Edward, for asking that question. And we're going to see what these lions get up to, and depending on whether they go back to sleep or whether they carry on moving, we'll decide what our next move should be. But in the meantime, I think it's certainly worth heading back to James and the beautiful leopard that he's found. We'll see you a bit later.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Jiga. You've got a hyena there. The beautiful leopard we've just found has dropped 2 bushbuck legs. It is a bushbuck that has been killed. And she just dropped 2 bushbuck legs. And this patient, infinitely patient hyena, beautiful animal that he is too, is now devouring them. Bones, skin, fur, and hooves. There's no meat on those things. Just listen to the crunch. Incredibly powerful jaws. I'm going to try and move slightly forward. I just don't want to ruin the shot of the leopard. Ephraim, I'm on Mumba Road. It's on Mumba Road, about 500 meters to the west of Junction Drakensberg. I'm on the western side of the junction with Drakensberger Road, not through, I think there's a small drainage line. You can see the animal in the tree from the road. You went, it's only about 50 meters off the road. Okay. Goodness gracious me. Yes, affirmative, just south of Mumba Road. Everybody, it's the game drive. The game drive radio is not easy, especially when you're new like me and you're not always that clear as to where you are. Hello, Lisa. Lisa, can a lioness chase a leopard up a tree? Oh, lovely question. And Lisa, yes, absolutely, a lioness will chase a leopard up a tree. If we're a lioness to come along here, I'll tell you exactly what would happen, is that the hyena would take off at a tremendous speed into the bush. The leopard would probably climb onto a more spindly branch and then growl, and the lioness may or may not climb up into the tree. Now, a lioness can climb, not very elegantly, and while they're pretty good at going up, they're absolutely appalling at going down. So yes, leopard will definitely seek refuge from a much bigger lion predator up in a tree. Now that she's not necessarily licking there for the sake of licking. She'll clean off the fur with her tongue, and then she uses those incredible carnassial teeth. And the carnassial teeth are the molars, and the molars on these amazing predators are designed like sharp edges, like scissors, and they cut over each other like scissors, and that helps them to shear the meat off the bone, and in the case of the hyena, to crush the bone, because obviously the sharper the tooth is, the more the power that is exerted by the jaw muscles. Ephraim, come in. Ephraim, just go west on Mumba Road back towards Twin Dams. I will get you audio and I'll call you in from there. Yeah, just go west towards Twin Dams on Mumba Road. You'll definitely get her visual on the southern side of the road. I do wonder how long this hyena has been sat here. Viam, can you smell that?
Smells lovely.
I think the hyena has relieved itself in the immediate vicinity. So I know this can tend to look a bit gruesome, and it's not necessarily the most aesthetically pleasing thing to see, but it is astonishing to see a leopard like this in this habitat, and it's amazing to think that this is her third kill in sort of less than 10 days. Thank you very much to Ellen for lots of information on Karula. She celebrated her 11th birthday in May, so she's rising 12 now, which is a good age for a leopard. And she's apparently raised 4 litters of cubs, which is pretty impressive, I must say. We had a fascinating leopard talk the other day from somebody. And what's really interesting is that apparently the age of the leopard has very little to do with their success.